You will need some super bulky yarn, a size N crochet hook, and a darning needle. So you're going to take your yarn and make a slip knot, but instead of pulling it all the way through, you're just going to pull it through so that it's a loop like that. So after you have your loop, you're going to put in your crochet hook and then pull the ends gently just so that the loop fits the size of the crochet hook, but you don't want it to be too tight. You want it to be able to still move pretty freely. Now there's different ways that you can hold your crochet hook and yarn, but this is just how I like to hold it, so do whatever is comfortable. So I like to hold it like this. So now you're going to make 25 chains. This loop does not count as a chain. To create a chain, you just wrap the yarn around the hook and then pull it through the loop, and that's one chain. Again, wrap it around and pull it through the loop. And then you're going to go up to 25. As you're pulling each loop through, make sure that it's kind of loose, not too tight, but not so loose that it's big gaping holes. Since this yarn is kind of fluffy and hard to see, I'll be showing you the next step on this yarn and with this hook, which is a little bit smaller, but you'll still be able to see. Now you're going to do a single crochet in the first chain from the hook, which is right there. You're going to pull through some yarn, grab some more yarn, and then pull it through those two loops. And then you're going to do a single crochet in each chain all the way down to the end. Again, going into that loop right there, pulling some yarn through, and then pulling yarn through both of the loops all the way to the end. Now you have one row of single crochet. At this point, you're going to take your work and flip it around and then chain one, which is just pulling the yarn through the loop. Now you're going to do a single crochet in the back loops only. Normally you would go through both of these, pull through some yarn, and then pull it through both loops, but instead of going through both of them, we're going to go through the back loop only. Pull up a loop and then pull through two loops. As you can see, the front loop is still there. And then you're going to do that in each single crochet all the way to the end. Here is the last one. And just like before, you're going to take your piece and flip it around. Do one chain and then do single crochets in the back loops only all the way across to the end. And then you're going to do row after row after row until your piece measures about 18 inches. So then you're going to fold it in half and then we're going to single crochet this edge together. So now you're going to just do one chain, fold your piece in half like this, and then we're going to single crochet this edge together. So for crocheting this together, instead of going through the back loops only, we're going to go through both of the loops on this side as if you were regular crocheting. And this side just has one loop since this was the beginning chain, so we're going to go through just the one loop on that side and then do a single crochet. So we're going to pull the yarn through all of that and then pull it through these two. Again, through these two, through the one loop on this side, pull it through and pull it through again. And you're going to repeat that all the way to the end. And here is the last one, going through the two and then catching that loop on the end like that. So now you're going to leave several inches of yarn and then cut it. Pull your yarn all the way through that last crochet and then thread it onto your darning needle. And now you're going to do a running stitch all the way around this edge. Just like that. Doesn't have to be exact. Just close to the edge. Alright, and then you're going to stop when you get back to where you started. And you're going to pull on this yarn until the top is gathered very tight. To tie it off, I like to run through a couple of stitches, pull it through, leave a loop here, and then just tie it with this end. Like that. And then just tie it again. And I'm just going to cut these. Since it's on the inside, I don't have to weave it in. So then you're going to take your beginning tail and thread it through your darning needle. And then just weave in the ends. Wherever you want to, just weave it in a couple of times so that it doesn't come loose. And then cut off the end. So now your hat's complete. All you have to do is flip it right side out and then roll up your brim. Now this part is totally optional, but I am going to make a pom-pom to add on the top of my hat. So here I have my 3-inch ruler. You just need anything that's kind of hard. You can use a wide table leg, anything that's about this wide. It could be longer or shorter, but just something that that's solid that you can wrap your yarn around. So first I'm going to cut a piece of yarn and then drape it over the edge of my acrylic ruler. And then I'm going to wrap yarn around the edge. I'm going to tuck the end of the part that we wrapped into it just to keep it out of the way for now. So now we have these ends that we put on before we wrapped it. So we're going to just kind of slide our pom-pom, go up and tie this at the top. Not in a knot, but just tie it so you can pull it down as you pull your pom-pom off. This part can be kind of tricky, so just kind of take your time and tighten your string as you go. Very tricky doing it in front of the camera like this. And then tighten it very tight. Pull it very taut. And then you're going to tie it in a knot. And I like to flip it around and then tie it again. Probably don't have to do this, but I just like extra security and everything. And we're going to leave these tails long. Now we're just going to go through along the edge and cut all of these loops open. I just go through a couple of layers, cut, and then you have to go through a couple more layers and cut. So now you're going to take your 2 longer pieces of yarn. I probably should have cut them a little bit longer, but that's okay. This is what we're going to use to attach the pom-pom to the hat. So I threaded one of the strings on my darning needle. I'm going to take the top of my hat and just insert it towards the top. Pull that through. Then you're going to thread the other string and then insert it again near the top, but across from your first one. So right about there. Be good. And pull it through. Then you're going to tie those 2 pieces together into a knot. Now you have your pom-pom on your hat. As you can see, my pom-pom's kind of misshapen, so I'm going to trim it up to shape it. So I'm just cutting off any of the yarn that is just, sticking out. Looks odd. I might need to round it out more. But I'm just going to trim it up, trim it up, look at it, and there's my pom-pom. And my hat is now complete.